and also the splash from here, but the muta did kill a few workers. So I'm finally up in workers quite a bit. And yes, so again, I was saying last game with the against the Terran that it's all about contingencies. Am I killing these cannons again? Yep, trying to take those down as best I can. It's really all about contingencies. I have muta, and it seems like, okay, well, you've got a lot of muta, you should get the muta upgrade. Well, the thing is if he gets the critical number of stalkers and cannons in place, I'm trying my hardest not to let him get them in place. But if he were to get them all in place, then, you know, my mutas would be essentially useless. They would be an army rather than a harassment unit. And I need to have something to keep the game on his side of the map once my mutas no longer become effective. At this point, they're remaining really effective. As you can see, it's 40 workers to 15 workers, and most of his workers are not mining. So, I actually have 25 times his income. Now it's 10 times, but that's going to change a bit. So here the game is fairly mine, and that's a good example of sort of abusing what they're doing. If I saw the Protoss 2-gating, I would have added banelings to my build, and then you know, drop 3 or 4 banelings onto his blob of zealots, and then your zerglings just kill everything and you win. You don't need to expand. That's pretty much. If anybody's having trouble with the 2-gate Protoss build, please let me know, because that is one thing, when I see it, I get this good feeling inside, this yummy feeling that, great, I've won, awesome. It's sort of the same feeling that I get when I see a Protoss not walling off. It's just like, well, thanks, free win. Which is, you know, it's a great feeling to have a build so worked out like that. So again here, I've got my speed roaches, and they have +1, and he's not thinking roaches at this point. That is just the last thing on his mind. So I'm going to go ahead and walk right in here. Taking a lot of damage from these cannons, but roaches are fairly well equipped to deal with cannons. And the key thing I'm trying to do here is just to kill off as many stalkers as possible. If I can kill off enough stalkers so that my mutas can just directly attack and win, then, you know, then it's going to be game over. And I think that I do sort of reach that point here. I really should not have been trying to snipe that Nexus. That was a dumb idea. You only want to try to snipe that when you know you're going to lose the army anyways. But in that case, if I had just attacked him, I probably wouldn't have lost the army. And so again here, he's down to, you know, 10 workers. I'm at 10 times the income, which is the key to this strategy. And with that much income, you notice my minerals are sort of building up, and, you know, and I'm starting upgrades. And let's see, okay, so Hive is done. That's very important. Hive is done, and I've got, again, contingencies. So when I'm going Mutalisk, and my Mutalisks are in his base attacking, and that's the thing he's paying attention to. Yeah, you see, what the hell am I supposed to do against that? When my Mutalisks are attacking him and they're in his base, I go roaches, and I stop my mutas. And even though the mutas are being very effective, and when my roaches are in there and that's what he's paying attention to, okay, he's got roaches, then what I do is I switch to Hydralisk, or rather I switch to Infestor. I didn't actually ever build an Infestor. It's not so important that you get a shitload of a certain unit. It's just that you need to be prepared, and Zerg's ability is that they've got so much larva and you've got money built up that if you've got the upgrades, like I got speed roaches when I had like 3 roaches sitting at my base, and my mutas were doing all the work. And then my mutas started to be less effective, and so I made 1,000,000 roaches. And then my roaches went in there, and as soon as they started to be less effective, then I got the Infestor upgrade. And I believe I started Ultralisk Cavern in here. Yeah, Ultralisk Cavern has started. So it's all about the next thing. You always need to be moving on as Zerg, and at this pretty much over. I get another wave of roaches in here. Again, you notice what I mean about it's more subtle than just switching techs. It's not like you go roaches and or you go muta and then you go roach, or you know, switching to the next thing. It's about sort of having a thing to fall back on. So if it was that he had a Colossus out, and these roaches just got shut down, and he had enough Stalker just to shut down this, then I would have, you know, infestors with energy, and I could research Neural, you know, and they would pop out with energy, and when he came to my base I could Neural it, or whatever it is. That might not be the best way to deal with Colossus, but I mean, at that point I had Ultralisks, so, and I was taking more bases. I wish I had been transferring drones. That's been up for way too long. There's 3 larvae there. There's always ways to improve your play, and that's definitely one of them. These should have been being transferred. But yeah, I just wanted to show a game against Protoss, and especially a game without a bathing bust, because a lot of people do criticize me for using bathings very often. I personally think they're one of the most important things that Zerg has been given. All the other races sort of got these brutal upgrades compared to StarCraft 1. They got, you know, like Force Field, or they got, you know, they got the Thor, they got all these crazy stuff for the Planetary Fortress, and Zerg kind of mostly kept what they got. In fact, we lost our most important thing, which was the Defiler. You know, we don't have Dark Swarm anymore, and we lost the Lurker. Like, we lost our really scary units. And we got the cute little Baneling. I absolutely don't use Banelings at all, and I do quite well, because what I'm really doing with the Baneling build, if you notice in that other game, is it's not so much this is the build you do, except for the build against Terran. That's pretty well thought out. But it's more about adapting to what you see, and that's the key to the whole Zerg game. You have to get out of the mindset of a specific build. That's more for the Protoss players, or the Terran players. Less Terran, more Protoss. When you have a specific build that you go, okay, all the way up to RoboBay, all the way up to my Colossus, I know which food and which order I click the buttons in. And Zerg is really not like that. You have to be playing an investment kind of strategy. You have to be working with contingencies. So let's go ahead and quit this. Income, just so we can see what that looked like. Okay, so army value, I mean, he did the quick expand, and you notice each rise that he had a rise in army, I had a rise in army. That's very important. That means you're sort of modeling what you're doing based on them. And the resource collection right here, he was very far ahead, and my sort of gradual rise coincided with his sort of gradual decline, and that is what you want to see as that is absolutely what you want to see as Zerg. So anyways, I will upload some replays of me losing horribly soon, and I actually just lost a game to a 1750 point Protoss who's like number 22 in North America, and he just squashed me. And so I'll be doing a replay on what not to do, and and how not to adapt. But anyways, thanks for watching, and please subscribe. And again, if you would like coaching, I am available to coach. I am really busy with school, but I would love to get into coaching, either for money or for food, because I am broke, or for any sort of thing, or even just for fun. If you want to play, please message me. But if you really seriously want to sit down and do long sessions of coaching, then please do let me know. So anyways, this is Iru signing out, and thanks for watching. Again, please subscribe, and have a good day. Later.